Breaking news, a Memphis Police Department administrative investigation is over. 5 Memphis police officers identified, fired, and charged. Tonight, we get our first look at the officers police say involved in that confrontation with 29-year-old Tyree Nichols.
My baby daddy.
All of this coming after at least one protest today. Nichols supporters awaiting video of the incident, calling for its release now, not later, as promised by city officials.
What's up? It's your boy Anthony Simmons, and you already know what it is, but if you don't, you are now watching Higher Heights. Yes, you rocking with the best, the only channel that stands for the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth. And tonight, I got a good one for y'all. We're going to be talking about the 5 Memphis police officers who were fired following the death of Tyree Nichols during a routine traffic stop. Now, check this out. This traffic stop was anything but routine, and we're about to get into it. It's a lot of layers to unpack, and I'm going to be telling you all a lot about what I think about it. Remember, this is my feelings, my thoughts. You have the right to feel how you want to feel. At the time of the release of this video, then the footage from the actual traffic stop probably has not been released yet, so we still have to respect the fact that all the evidence has not been processed yet. But we got to rock with what we got at this time, and tonight we're going to be talking about the 5 Memphis police officers that have been currently fired due to the death of this young man. With that being said, if you're rocking with me, I need you to go ahead and hit that like button. You know what that do. If you're new to the channel, let me let you know what you could do to the channel. Hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, because you don't want to miss when I'm dropping content like this. With no further ado, let's get it. Now, I'm going to be posting a picture of the 5 Memphis police officers on this video as well. But you can find their faces all over YouTube, all over social media and the internet right now, because they made themselves famous for a very poor reason. Y'all, this is just sad. You already know that we got a lot of black on black crime, and you expect that in the hood. You expect black people to attack black people in the hood because they're around black people. What you don't expect is for the people who wear a uniform and put on a badge every day, and the people that are supposed to protect and serve your community, to be the exact ones to exact this type of violence and demonstrate this type of behavior on your streets. And we wonder why the police and the community have such a bad relationships. This is just one in the many examples that we can see where police are taking matters too far and taking authority into their hands that they don't have. Now, it's sad to say that we are actually desensitized and almost used to seeing a white officer pull over a black man or black persons and do these kind of things to them. Like, we're used to that kind of harassment. We're used to that kind of devastation as a black community as a whole. We're used to seeing the white, the European, the Caucasian officer pull over the melanated, the brown skin, or yeah, brother, and pull them over and do this to them. So it's not even kind of shocking when you hear something like that. But it was a surprise to find out that these were 5 black officers, which speaks to a point that I'm about to bring up right now. It speaks to a bigger point that I'm arguing that it's not racism that we're dealing with when it comes to uniforms taking their authority too far. This point that I'm speaking to has nothing to do with racism. It shows you that there is a greater evil that you have to understand. With everything, the devil has these, what they call it, territories, principalities. And I tried to explain this in an earlier video. I think I'll try to post a link to it. But every organization has its own demonic pressures and forces that come with it, and the police are no exception. With that being said, you see here 5 black police officers do the same thing that we often march, we often seek justice for with white police officers concerning white people and the treatment of black people. So this speaks to a larger issue to me, which is that you put on that uniform. You put on that uniform and you feel like you have the authority, you have the right to go farther than you need to. Now, let me explain something to you all when I say going farther than you need to, using force that is unnecessary. When I was in the Marine Corps, you were only allowed to use the amount of force that it took to de-escalate the situation. Like whatever situation you in, and you're talking about people that's going to war, that's prepared for war every day when I was in the Marines, but we were still had rules of engagement. That's what they call them, rules of engagement, meaning I can be sitting somewhere and see you shoot one of my partners, see you actually kill them, right? I saw you do this and you drop your weapon. And no longer are you a person as a threat with a weapon. So I cannot use the force that you just used, that I just witnessed you use. Now I just saw you and witnessed you kill my partner, end my partner. And I cannot do that same force on you if your weapon has been extracted. If you have let go of your weapon, I cannot now use that level of force. I am only allowed to use the amount of force that is necessary to subdue you. So I know that the police have this same kind of pamphlet, this same kind of guideline and protocol to follow. Now, many times they don't follow it because you have to understand that the police are an organization of brotherhood, and they're going to stick together and they're going to ride for each other unless the evidence is just too overwhelming and they have to throw somebody under the bus. Then they're going to do that. But if they think they can skate or go under the radar, they're going to stick together at all costs. But you have what's called rules of engagement. But anyway, I digress. Let's get back to the point at hand. They put on this uniform every day. And we don't take the time to consider these people that we're putting in uniform, to consider the psychological evaluation that should be done when you're putting these people in uniform. Because once again, their job is to protect and serve, not to dominate and dictate. They are not to dominate and dictate, and they are definitely not meant to be going around here putting their hands on hurting your loved ones, abusing your loved ones, misappropriating and misusing their authority, abusing their authority. That's certainly not what we pay our tax dollars for. That's certainly not what we sign up for when we say we're going to allow this person to patrol our streets. So you got these 5 officers who were supposed to be pulling somebody over on a traffic stop. How does it end up where you end up beating this guy to death? Here's where I don't understand. Like there's certain crimes, there's certain things people do that I just can't fathom doing to a person unless it's pure evil. Like you got 5 people here on one person. At what point do you say, this is enough? Like, even if the guy pissed you off so badly, at what point are you saying, well, hey, he's had enough? Evil has had to take over and corrupt the hearts of all 5 men because nobody is brave enough to be a leader and say, wait a minute, stop. That's too much. Not only does that happen, y'all have the audacity not to render medical aid to this brother. What did he do so egregious that it caused y'all to have to go that far? First of all, talk about it in the comments. Let me know, is there anything that you feel or deem that could be worthy enough for somebody to literally beat somebody to death? And that's very malicious. See, y'all don't understand. There's certain crimes you get charged with more in the legal system than others. Like stabbing someone is more deadly than actually shooting somebody. It's more personal. It's more malicious than actually shooting somebody. And so I would think to beat someone to death with your hands or whatever weapon that you use, nightstick or whatever, is actually more egregious than shooting that person, because you're sitting there and having to cognitively know that we got 5 on 1 and we're going to beat this brother to the point that his life is gone 3 days later. His life is gone. Now, this is a young brother whose life is gone, wasn't violent towards y'all. And if he was, at that point where y'all subdued him, that's where your job ended. When you guys had him under control, whatever story that y'all are trying to concoct or come up with, or whatever reasoning y'all may have short of apologizing and trying to come out with the truth and saying, look, y'all were wrong for what y'all did. Listen, that brother is gone now, and there is no amount of money. There's no amount of anything, apology that can bring him back to his family. He might have been a father, a brother, had loved ones out there, people who he cared about and people who he touched and affected on a daily basis. And y'all have took it in y'all hands to be judge, executioner, and jury. You understand what I'm saying? And with that being said, my final point that I wanted to hit on this topic is this. Black people struggle enough trying to get justice in the American court system, in the American justice system, with going against an opposite race, it let alone going against the opposite race, that we have to now look at our own brothers doing this to us as if we don't mean anything. So what I suggest is this: Black people have to ride as hard, if not harder, for the persecution of these 5 gentlemen than they would for if it was a white man doing it. Now, I know you've had demonstrations done already. You have protests done already, but you got to go hard, because this has to be an example set. A precedence has to be set, meaning that we're not going to stand for this no matter who you are. People being done wrong is people being done wrong no matter what color is being done by. But the boys in blue have to be held accountable for their attitude and the way they assert themselves. It's a sticky situation. It's a slippery slope when you have to be the authority figure on the scene, when you're called to a crime and you have to make a judgment call. Because guess what? Like I said, I was in the Marines. I was a bounty hunter before. So I know that in certain situations, it dictates that you don't have that much time to make a split decision, because that decision can decide whether or not you go home to see your loved ones or not. But when it comes to this kind of case right here, where you were fully equipped, you had everything you needed, you actually outnumbered this guy, and you don't do something like this, you actually went to the extremes that no one ever asked you to, and you should have never done. When you woke up that morning, I hope that you didn't have this on your heart. But to be this kind of evil, something's got to be wrong with you mentally. So with that being said, Black people have got to set an example. They've got to set a precedent. At least from my perspective, we got to ride hard as if it was a white man who did this. Because if we don't ride as hard for Tyree Nichols in this situation, we can expect them not to care when somebody else does it to us. We got to start caring about ourselves, and we got to ride hard and hold ourselves accountable, way more accountable than we even holding them, because respect starts at home. Respect starts at home, just like on one of my previous podcasts. Listen, if you've listened this far, I need you to go ahead and drop a like. Like it. Run them likes up. I need it. Yes, I'm very appreciative to the people who support me so far. So run those likes up. I need it. Also hit that subscription button, and don't forget to hit the notification bell, because you don't want to miss when I'm dropping content like this. Also, let's talk about it more in the comments. What do y'all think should be done in this situation? Like I said, the video footage isn't released, but from all the evidence that we've received thus far and all the evidence that's showering the internet, it seems like these officers were in the wrong. So let me know in the comments, #HigherHeights. Let me know what y'all think we should do as a whole, as a Black nation, how we should ride about this. And do you think that it could have been handled a whole different route? Because I do. Until the next time, y'all be blessed.